everyone, it is I, Michelle Wamboy, and today we are going to have a mind talk with Gen Z as they spill the tea on their mental health. And did you know that half of all people will be diagnosed with a mental illness at one point in their life? Mental health is real and it can get really messy. So if we don't talk enough about it, it can really affect us.
The word mental health to me, mostly when I think about it, it's your current state of mind, how you think, what you take into your mind, what you process in your mind. Yeah.
Taking care of your mind other than just your physical body.
Mental health, I think, is the way you balance between reality and expectation in your life.
Okay, mental health to me literally means taking care of yourself mentally, ensuring that you're stress-free and nothing that really distracts you from whatever you're doing.
Mostly because us as young people, I'll talk on behalf of the age that I am in, the age is mostly people often don't prefer to talk about their mental health to other people because maybe people want to fit in particular groups, and therefore they don't prefer, they rather listen and talk about things that are happening rather than talk about their mental health.
Yes, because if you don't take care of yourself mentally, at some point it will also affect you physically. Itaonekana tu, like if you are constantly overthink, fear, constantly uko in fear, uko worried 247, it will just reflect like physically. Hata utapata unagonjeka something that it makes sense, like ungegonjeka if ungekuwa less stressed and all that. So mental health, ukikosa kuangalia mental health, at some point it affects your physical health pia.
Yes, I think mental health is important because when you have a poor mental health, maybe you will have maybe unaweza shindwa kukula, ama unaweza kukunywa pombe, kutumia drugs, kitu kama hiyo, which affect your physical health.
Yeah, it is. Actually, mental health comes first because when you're not okay mentally, you can't even be okay physically.
For me, I have few people that I'm confident with talking to about my mental health. So the few people, the times we are together with them are the times that maybe we will talk about our mental health, but not deeply, not that deeply, to some extent, yeah.
To my friends, rarely, but to my relative, I have one person mwenye ndio maybe tunaongea once in a while.
Okay, me about mental health, sio rahisi niongee sana na watu, unless maybe kama tuko close, maybe kitu kama brother yangu naweza ongea naye juu tuko close na yeye, ama maybe my mom, maybe watu wako close sana, lakini my friends sio rahisi sana.
ChatGPT. Literally, I believe when you talk to AI will not go and tell person X, person Y, person Z, Patricia is going through something. ChatGPT will just advise you on what to do, and it will just be quiet.
I've never gone to a therapist. Yeah, maybe when I feel as if my mental health is not good, I'd consider.
I've never, and I don't think I can consider if kuna need hivyo sana, but as for now and venye mimi najijua mentally, I don't think nitakuwa na visit therapist anytime soon.
Mi sionangi maana ya therapist. I think the best therapist ni mtu anakujua. Sasa seme mtu mko close na like sio ati mtu professional. Mtu professional, yes, hiyo ni kitu amesomea pia, sio ati like anakuelewa vizuri.
I have ever, yeah. That was back then. I was in first year. I was so depressed about the course I was doing. I felt like in high school I used to have that mentality of I need a course that is more of maths, not more of theory. And the course I'm doing right now is more of theory. So I was a bit depressed. I was like, I'm not understanding in class. Things are not okay for me. Then I went to KU mental health offices but at the health unit. So they advised me about course selection. I finally loved my course, and here I am today.
It depends with what kind of media you're consuming. Kama una consume, let's say, spiritual, like vitu positive, you'll have a positive side of media. But when ni mtu na consume like negative things, obviously it will just affect you like negatively. So ina depend too, una choose as a person, una choose consume which kind of media, social media, what kind of content umeamua ku consume, ndio ita reflect in your like mental health and all.
Social media, most of the time ukiingia social media unapata watu wanga wana fake life. So basically mimi venye naonanga social media like ina affect negatively kwa mental health yetu. Like ukiangalia mtu ana fake life and unaona wewe una pesa, so una feel like yo uko so like uko anakupata expectations mingi yenye wewe kuanga nayo. Sasa afadhali live life bila social media.
No, because as Gen Zs, most of us, we find comfort in things that, I don't want to say in bad things, because maybe they are not bad things, but we find ourselves finding comfort in things that are not helping our mind in the right way, because we often look for temporary solutions, and which they help for a while, then you go back to where you are.
That's also just depends on your friend group. Hawezi to generalize at Gen Z. Me as a Gen Z, niko a different opinion na wewe as a Gen Z. We're just Gen Z because of our age bracket. But now, tukisema our mental health, ni just friend group unatembea nayo. If unatembea na watu who are mentally aware, who talk about mental health, wenye waichukulia as a bad thing, wanachukulia vizuri, your mental health utakuwa sawa. But ukiamua kutembea na your group yenye ukiongelea mental health unaanza kuambiwa you are weak, sijui nini. It just depends with the group unatembea nayo na watu una interact nao, vitu una interact nazo.
Gen Z, me personally naonanga niko na friends wanga tunacheck on each other, like mtu anaweza post status a react muongee kiasi, like sio kuongea hivyo sana. Like kuna watu ma friends kiasi wenye ako close wanga wana check on you, wanga tunasupportiana.
Okay, as for me, as I've told you, I prefer talking to AI. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd advise them to go to seek assistance from a therapist, and as a friend, maybe encourage them, give them words of encouragement, and yeah, I think that could help.
First, I must listen to. Wajua kusikiza msee inasaidia. You might not bring the solution, but kumwacha air out. Aseme kitu anafikiria. That's help. Listening, just being there for them when they need you. Just listen. They help enough. But if they need more help than what I can offer, me, I'm worrying about them. They are stressing. Maybe but as for me, I'll just listen to you. give you my own point of view, but not a solution.
Maybe unaweza muadvise like akuambie whatever ana go through na ukue there maybe ku listen, like ukue ready ku listen to, like listening at least anaona kuna mtu anamsikiza, so inaweza msaidia in a way.
Okay, just to tell them, if someone is going through something, I can just tell them that's not the end of it, and they should make peace with the fact that the problems of this world does not come to an end. So if you're thinking something is stressing you, and then maybe you'll be depressed, and after that you'll come over it, next time you'll come to a bigger problem that will also depress you. So look for a strategy that you're going to solve all your problems, and definitely you'll have solved all of your problems by accepting that the problems of this world does not come to an end. No matter who you are, no matter the amount of resources or wealth you have, problems will always come.
As we've all heard, each person has their own experience, but one thing that sticks out is how they all struggle with sharing what is going. This month being Mental Health Awareness Month, I hope everyone takes care of their mental health and you embrace the sense of community, which is the theme of this month.
There's usually this stigma, talk about issues that you're facing as a man. So most of the time you feel like you're better off just dealing with your own issues by your own self.
I believe men are reluctant to talk about their mental health and issues stemming from them themselves. And also because society itself is reluctant to listen to men speaking about their mental health issues. I believe many men are wired from the days they were born, especially this being an African context. We talk about Kenyan context, traditional African communities context, and many were wired from birth that as a man you need to be strong, as a man you need not to cry, as a man you need to portray this certain kind of picture. And so I believe such kind of wiring, I dare call it ingraining, that kind of ingrainment upon many men makes it very reluctant for them to talk about their mental health, sorry. And also society in itself is very reluctant to listen to men talking about their mental health. So,
I feel men are tumeko kwa space fulani yenye society dictates that lazima a man should be a man, like the brave lionish type of scenario in quotes dictates that a man should be composed like nothing is going wrong, but things are going down, but yeah.
I can say just like society like has put a lot of pressure to us men that if you open up like you're weak, ama ukiongea na msee like utampea siri zako, so like mama tu kufuata na shida zako kuliko uongee na msee asikujaja ama sione yenyewe jamaa anakuwa weak. So I can say like ni pressure tu ya wasee na ile tu ego ya wanaume like kufuata na story yako peke yako.
There's this thought that men should be strong. They shouldn't. They shouldn't be weak. So they're required to deal with their own issues, not projecting them to everyone else to help them.
I believe society's expectations would pretty much relate to a lot of people approval. And you would be shocked that psychological statistics can prove that men are very vulnerable to people approval. Men are very vulnerable to what society would define them as, and especially fellow men. So I believe society from, as I was saying earlier, from birth, there's this entire perception of what an ideal man should look like. And so I believe many men from the day they were born, they are taught how to be a man. You're not taught how to be human. You're taught how to be a man. So I believe these society expectations are the ideal man should there's a certain how should I call it a caliber? There's a certain caliber of masculinity. An ideal man should have certain possessions, such kind of definitions that are very shallow, very minimal, very you'll go through life and you'll come to realize such things are never as important. I think such kind of issues really box a man into being into a certain cage. So yeah.
A lot. Hey, acha kwanza ni washow. You see, society expectation of masculinity makes men hide their emotions. Most of men hide their emotions, especially unaendanga like to a burial. Let's say, majorly in burials, I see this. When atakama it's your dad who's passed or someone close to you, as a man, you're not supposed to cry because society perceives you as a man.
I can say that watu wengi sasa kuogopa kuopen up, unapata like una carry a lot of things in your head. Unapata like ina get to your head, unakuwa depressed, unapata sad, una commit suicide, like wasa yuko okay mentally, but mbele ya watu wana behave ako okay, but deep down is not okay. Yeah.
I think as you grow, you're going to face different issues at different stages of life. So at a younger age, you face different issues compared to as an adult, and they usually vary. So, for example, at a younger age, maybe you face issues with socialization and stuff, and as you grow up, maybe finances may become a bigger issue.
So in psychology, there's a section that talks about developmental psychology, which talks about how as human being and of course as men, your mental health issues gradually elapse from childhood to old age. So I would say at youth, many men, the kind of mental health issues would be going through would mainly be largely on peer pressure, such kind of issues. Then as you approach adulthood, I believe this is one of the hardest stages of a man between the ages of 22 to 29, because this is really where you're trying to settle. I'm talking about settling financially, career-wise. I'm talking about settling in terms of marriage. This is pretty much where you're laying the foundation for your life. So between the ages of 22 to 29, you might experience a lot of psychosocial issues. And of course, as you proceed to old age, there's still a variety of mental health issues that men in the old age go through, be it divorce, be it custody rights, be it still the issue of wealth generation and money and finances goes on up until old age. So I would say each and every issue continues to build up from youth all the way to old age.
I can say this, tukiwa wadogo, our emotions were taken care of, then everything was kind of just okay. Unaona? Like niende niambie mtu nampenda as a child itakaa kitu normal. Sasa niko miaka kadhaa nikiambia mtu nampenda kwanza lazima nijifikirie mara tatu ndani. Alafu ndio nianze kufikiria hivyo. But pia as we progress, the day and age sasa yenye tuko vitu zina change because we're in June, mental health awareness month. So getting to a point where we have a full month dedicated to mental health of man is a great step.
The more una grow up like adulting, una realize vile ulikuwa unaambia ukiwa mtoto like life itakuwa soft life. The more una grow up, the more una realize life inaendelea kuwa hard. So the more una grow up, the more unapata a lot of things, unapata a lot of responsibilities. So unapata tu kuna a lot of stress, the economy iko mbaya, like adulting tu ni messed up. So unapata hadi economy ikiwa messed up, pia mental health yako unapata tu pia iko messed up.